of your solutions come together. You are core to everything that we do at Microsoft. So with that, I will say thank you for all that creative ideation and solution that you built over the last few months, and looking forward to how this journey is going to be for our finalists today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Annie, for your opening remarks. So just as a reminder, the objective of this hackathon was to provide innovative solutions in advanced data analytics and AI for a number of booming industries that are leveraging the Azure technologies. And so just to highlight how far our finalists have come to be here today, I want to go over the timeline for the challenge. So it was launched end of November 2020, and it attracted over 3,500 participants, out of which we then selected 130 to go over to the deepening phase, and which leads us now to this final event, where after 5 months of competition, we have our top 10 teams who will be pitching their amazing solutions to all the judges and the audience watching us. So really congratulations to all the finalists who've made it here today. As you can see, it was really quite the journey. And we also have quite a diversity of participants. The edition of the challenge this year was open to 16 countries in Asia, and we received quite an amount of participations for each of these countries, so we're very thankful for that. We also had a couple of themes that we could tackle for this hackathon. We had 4 categories: banking and finance, telecommunication, education, health tech, and for those who had a solution that didn't fall in any of these 4 categories, we also had the wildcard option. Now, our top teams, to go over them and to focus on them today, we have 5 countries that are represented out of the 16 that I showed you before. So 1 team is from New Zealand, 1 team is from Thailand, 2 from Malaysia, 2 from Indonesia, and 4 from Singapore. We're also, they are also in 3 categories out of what I presented to you before. So we have 3 teams in health tech, 3 teams in banking and finance, and 4 who chose to join the wildcard theme. We're also really happy to see that we have a nice split in gender with almost an equal representation, 40% female and 60% male. So really happy to see a very diverse set of people here today. Now, for the rules and the pitching format for today. Each team will have 5 minutes to pitch, and then you'll have a 5-minute Q&A session with the judges. You will hear a bell sound when you get to the 4th minute of your pitching and Q&A. Please make sure that you stick to 5 minutes, as I will stop you at the 5-minute mark to ensure that everyone has equal time. For the judging criteria, we have 6 different judging criteria that you will be judged on today. So we have, first of all, feasibility of the solution, which is how easy is it to implement your proposed solution. Best use of Azure APIs. How do you leverage existing APIs rather than trying to reinvent the wheel? Complexity to implement, which is quite self-explanatory, but essentially how easy is it to implement your solution? Originality, is it something that's never been seen before? Solution architecture with Azure, which is the most important criteria today. How well are the Azure APIs and services used in the architecture of your solution? And finally, team complementarity. Are you leveraging the different skills, and do you have diverse people in your team, and are you using that to its full potential? So quite a set of criteria for today. Now, of course, I know that this is something that everyone is interested in and wants to know. For the prizes today, we have quite a lot of really great prizes lined up for you today. First of all, the grand prize. So the grand winner across all categories will go home with $8,000. The second prize, which is also the second best team across all categories, will have $5,000. For the third prize, originally it was meant to go to the best teams in each of the categories, but we actually only have 2 that are represented in addition to the wild card, so we chose to change the rules a little bit. So how this is going to work is the best team in banking and finance and the health tech categories, excluding grand prize and second prize, will be awarded 1,000 USD. And then the second best teams across all categories, including the wild card, will also get 1,000 USD. Then we will have for the winning startups, they will be able to join the Microsoft for Startups program. And also all the winning teams will be receiving support from DataHappy, and a bit more information will be given from Yoann Fol, who's the founder and CEO of DataHappy, at the end of the ceremony. I would now like to introduce you to our amazing panel of judges for today. So it's really a pleasure to be working with all of you. And also, we know you've been tuning from lots of different locations: Singapore, New Zealand, Tanzania, and Korea. So really thank you for joining us from all your different locations. And I'd now like to ask you to introduce yourselves briefly. So Annie, please, you can start with the introductions.
Yes, hi, I'm Mathew. I'm based out of Kuala Lumpur. I work to win the hearts of minds of developers out there. I lead the Asia Pacific Developer Relations team. Happy to be here today.
Thanks a lot, Annie. Next, we have Leila. So Leila, please feel free to introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. Welcome, and actually, congratulations to be in the first to the top 10. I'm Leila from Auckland, New Zealand. I'm AI and data platform MVP, and actually, I'm a co-founder of the Radacad. I'm happy to be here.
Thanks a lot, Leila. So next we have Yoann Fol. Please go ahead.
Hi, everyone. So Yoann, currently in Tanzania, but I was mostly based in Singapore for the last 5 years. So I'm myself a data scientist and an entrepreneur, building particularly around people, planet, and profit together. So happy to see all your impacting solutions together after that.
Thanks a lot. And last but not least, well, we have now Minhun. So please go ahead, Minhun.
Hi, everyone. I'm Minhun, CEO of Common Computer. We are in Korea. We are in MS Startup program, and it was really helpful. And if you are interested in cures like AI, blockchain, collaboration, open source, contact me. I'm very excited to see your great presentations, and good luck everybody.
Thank you so much. And now we also have two additional judges who will be joining us a bit later and take part in the deliberation. We have Dr. David Hardoon, Senior Advisor for Data and Artificial Intelligence for Union Bank, and Emily Rich, who's the Director of Microsoft for Startups. So they'll be joining us a little bit later. And now it's time to give all of you the pitch in order. So we will be starting with team TeAroha from New Zealand. Then we will have Binoc AI from Malaysia, Useless Things from Thailand, Access Denied from Singapore, and AVEHEALTH from Singapore. We'll then have a 15-minute break and resume with Marmatech from Indonesia, Feelcoomers Eins also from Indonesia, Telescope from Malaysia, CreditMate from Singapore, and Niubility from Singapore. With that said, let's get started, and good luck to all of you. So team TeAroha, you are up first. Good luck to you. You can present your screen and we will start the timer when you're ready.
Priya, you can start.
Yeah,
Okay.
we are ready.
You can go ahead when you're ready.
Hi, everyone. Kiara. This is Team TeAroha from New Zealand. A big thank you for everyone who are joining us today. And a big thank you to all the judges for selecting us to the final round and giving us this opportunity to present our solution. So what is the problem we have chosen and we are trying to solve? In this modern technological era, we have so many ways to get a pizza in 10 minutes, but haven't seen many healthcare solutions addressing individuals' mental well-being. particularly in the current stressful situations the world is going through. Most of the people are in desperate need of help with their mental health. So, what's the approach we did to address this? As a first step, we have extracted the raw data from Council Chat website using Power Query to get the question and answers into Power BI. We then designed useful insights using Power BI for data analysis. We also created a model using Azure machine learning to predict the upwards for all the questions asked, and finally developed a wellness chatbot with Azure Q&A Maker and bot framework.
Now we will go through the details of the solution. We scraped the data from councilchat.com website into Power BI, and you are now seeing a snapshot of data distribution. Here is a small demo of the analysis we have done. It shows all the topics we have scraped. If you look at addiction, you can see the insights for addiction. If you click on diagnosis, there are 7 questions answered. We used smart narratives visual that summarizes the insights. We have through therapist, which shows all questions and answers that therapist answered.
Then we created Azure machine learning model using the data from Council Chat to predict the upvotes for the questions asked. So what was our solution? Based on all our analysis and predictions, we were convinced that our idea of building a wellness chatbot will help people with mental health issues. As a first step, we just took depression as a topic for building the chatbot, and this chatbot can be integrated with various health platforms as a level 1 counseling support. Here is a small demo of the chatbot. When you start chatting with the bot as a greeting, a statement of disclaimer will be displayed as an initial conversation explaining the terms of the use of the chatbot. One of the questions I'm going to ask now is, I feel worthless. And here we get the relevant answer given by the therapist on councilchat.com. Next, I'm going to ask, why am I upset every day? And you can see the relevant answer. Similarly, the next question is, how can I deal with depression in chronic pain? And here you can see the answer. Now I will try to have a casual conversation and ask, how are you today? For which the bot replies, great, thanks. I'm ending the conversation with thank you for the conversation. You can also try this chatbot for which we will give the link later on.
Our solution is going to benefit in 3 areas. First, remote areas where there is limited access of the counseling. Second, where people have reluctance to go to a counselor. And thirdly, providing support, wellness support teams in healthcare industry by integrating the chatbot within their apps. And here is the snapshot of the solution architecture of the Microsoft application that we have used. We used Power Query and Power BI for analysis and used machine learning for prediction. For creating the bot, we used Q&A Maker and Azure Bot Framework. And here's the link that can be used to integrate into various platforms. We can try to interact with the chatbot by clicking on the first link, and all our source code is in the GitHub. And here's our team. Thanks, bot.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and that's the end of the presentation.
Thank you so much for the presentation. Okay, so it's now time to do the Q&A session, so you may stop sharing your screen. And I'd like to ask the judges if they have any questions. If you do, feel free to raise your hand so I can ask you directly. Maybe Annie, would you like to start with any questions?
Yes, thank you, and great to see need of the hour solution there. So my question, I want to understand a little bit more about, have you done research around, you showed the use case for depression. So mental health is, the conversation can get very personal very soon. And how effective is scraping, answers from the council.com site and then offering it? Will they engage or disengage? Will a person be engaged with this conversation? Have you done any test? What's your view on that?
I can take that. We came up with the idea after doing a lot of research as to what kind of websites are available. We came up with this councilchat.com to be a reasonably good website where actual therapists are answering for the questions that other patients are asking the questions. And it is sort of reliable. That's what we felt. And there was a paper written on medium.com regarding this. So that's what has triggered us to create the chatbot by scraping the details from the council chat, so that we don't need to engage anyone like doctors or from the chatbot perspective. If anyone wants to add, can add.
Yeah, I would like to add in here. So we also use the upward prediction. So upward prediction is like when the expert is answering the question. So how relevant the answer is to the question. So that is one of the related analysis in terms of upwards.
Just to follow on is, did you test the efficacy with a sample set of patients?
No, we haven't.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Next, I think, Leila, you had a question.
But I have the same question as Annie about how is it possible in a real world that we see how it works. And I love the idea. And I think just doctors also, they have some algorithms. So maybe bringing them to this one should be kind of because we can bring the yes and kind of the algorithm if this happen and that, so we can bring it to chatbot as well. But the same question as Annie. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yoann, maybe do you have a question?
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for the presentation. Maybe just a question more on your team. You went a bit fast on that, on the complementarity of your experience as well, and the complementarity of your profiles for the last 5 months, but also for what's coming next. Can you explain a bit more your vision and how you will split the tasks?
Yeah. So as for the next steps, what we are planning to do is introduce a speech to text capability for the bot. And also, I think before we go there, we have to first of all look at the feasibility of the solution. Like how Annie asked, have we tested? I think we should first test with real patients and also expand the topics, because initially we just took depression as a topic. There are around 43 topics on the councilchat.com, so we can expand the topics to creating the chatbot, and also in extend the chatbot for booking appointments if it is integrated with a healthcare facility or healthcare portals.
Yeah,
Do
just
you want to
adding,
add? Yeah.
just adding to the to Endo, the team. Yeah, we are 2 people from healthcare background, so that's why we came up with the idea of this wellness chatbot with our experience in working in healthcare.
Thanks a lot. So I think that is it for this Q&A session. I'm sorry, Minhun, I didn't have the time to give you the opportunity to ask a question, but I'll give you the hand for the next presentation. So the next
Thank
team
you.
thank you very
Thank
much
you.
for the presentation.
Thank you.
So the next team to go is Binoc AI. So you can share your screen and start when you're ready, and we'll start the timer. We can see your screen.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear. You can start whenever you're ready.
Okay. Good morning, judges. My name is Grace, and I'm presenting Binoc AI to present to you our product, which is Vega, a decentralized AI-powered loan collection system through smart contracting. So, judges, let me take you through a typical loan collection process. You, as a borrower, will apply loan to the lender. The lender will perform a manual checking and do an external scoring, give you a credit score. And upon receiving a good credit score, your loan will be approved and we will implement the loan collection strategy. Even though the process looks simple, it is often with a lot of limitations. First off, borrowers have no visibility past this point. Lenders' manual checking is very tedious and untimely, and the external scoring and the loan collection strategy is once off and is not adaptable to economic volatility, especially times during the pandemic. So no frets, because Binoc AI has a solution for you. This is Vega, which is built upon smart contracting through blockchain technology. Okay, so how blockchain technology works is that we have a full visibility of all data from all of our stakeholders, which includes borrower, lender, and financial regulator. We have our own state-of-the-art credit risk scoring engine and loan collection recommender system, also known as the MARN, which I will explain a little bit more during the demonstration. So how it works is the borrower applies loan. Immediately, the information will be available to all of the stakeholders. The financial regulator will provide credit scoring data. The loan collection recommendation will provide a direct matching of a loan collection strategy, and the lender will use the strategy almost immediately and collect the loan automatically. This creates a harmonious ecosystem that is resilient, adaptable, immutable, transparent, and fully autonomous. So let's see how this solution works. Now, our product is established in Power BI, so I will demonstrate to you through an example of an aviation industry, which is heavily impacted during the pandemic. So as you can see here, this is the three components that we have. First, I'll navigate to the non-performing loan prediction. You'll see for the aviation industry, there's about 7 non-performing loans. And these are the models that we use, actually both giving the best model accuracy. And the key influence here we can see that the companies that are non-performing is due to the market cap going downwards. And then next, we'll have the client risk profiling, which is based on 4 main indices: market capitalization, credit amount, credit risk, credit score, and our non-performing loan prediction from the previous page. So you'll see here at the side here, there's a MARN profiling. This is a tree map diagram that shows that clusters the clients based on risk level of 1 through 5. For aviation industry, this is the suggested loan collection action based on risk level 3. Lastly, we have the non-performing loan blockchain data. Here is where you see the smart contracts, where you can see the payment due date during March, and also the collection action that we have performed. The Vega blocks is where we see the contraction status, including regulating, acquiring, applying, discussing, and these are the hash ID of the block numbers, block data. So that's all for the demonstration. Now I'll show you how we are able to implement it with Microsoft Azure microservices. First off, we're going to use Azure Blockchain, which is the Azure Blockchain Dev Kit based upon Ethereum Ledger, and smart contracts are written in Solidity. The data will then be stored in the Azure SQL database along with the 4 data sets here. This is the specifications for our SQL database. The data will then be used in the Azure ML to perform non-performing loan prediction and MARN scoring done in Python. So again, I just want to highlight that the MARN scoring is state-of-the-art. We built it on our own from scratch with the subject matter experts. This scoring and the prediction will be stored in the SQL database along with the blockchain data and the model data, which will be ingested in Power BI. And this will not be made publicly available if it's not done in Azure VM. So these are the specifications for the Azure VM. Next, why do you need to believe in Binoc AI's Vega? We have 3 reasons why. First is it is a user-centric data visualization, which means we put customers first. Second, we automate NPL prediction such that it will be almost, the process is seamless. And lastly, the blockchain technology ensures transparency so that everybody, it is trusted and everybody is able to see all the data and transactions. So this is the team that made it possible. I'm the team lead. Alongside here, we have 2 data scientists, 1 quantitative interpreter. We are from an oil and gas background, so we definitely need subject matter experts from the banking and finance industry. So thank you, and let's try forward together with Vega. That's all. Thanks.
Thank you so much for your presentation. Okay, now it's time to move on to the Q&A session. Maybe Minhun, would you like to start since you didn't have the opportunity to ask a question before?
Yes, thank you for the great presentation. I want to ask you what kind of competitors are in the market similar to your services?
Okay, so we do have a competitor. I think that was one is called BlockPay. Maybe Q, you are at a better position to answer this.
Yeah, actually, before joining in Petronas, I have experience working in the loans origination company, fintech.
Q, we can't hear you very well. I think you're going to need
Hello?
to speak louder. Yeah.
Can you guys hear me now?
This is great, yeah.
Okay, yes. So, I'm just saying that I have the experience of working in the fintech company focusing on loan origination. They have the difference between us and them that time that I work, and then the credit risk or the difference between the predict the credit risk and also the doing the non-performing loan classification is still very manual in most of the company, in most of the place. And then because it's require a lot of the data from different parties, a lot of approval. And then besides, the database that they have at that point is also not focusing on blockchain. So there are a lot of not transparency that between different parties. Like if I apply already, I'm a user, I don't know what can happen. There are few things, transparency and also the time consuming for not honoring the data given. Yes.
Thanks a lot. For next question, Annie, maybe do you have a question?
No, we have Emily and David Hardoon also here as judges. So, yeah.
Oh, perfect.
I just wanted to share that. Yeah.
Thank you. Emily, I can see you have your hand raised. Do you have a question?
I think you are muted. Yeah.
Emily, I think you might be muted.
I was muted and I was talking to myself. Okay. So thank you for your presentation. That was great. Particularly liked the solution architecture. It was really clear. So the value proposition around using blockchain. So I guess because we don't have a lot of time, I want to understand basically the way that, so the problem statement essentially that you're saying is, okay, we don't have visibility of the full loan process, right? And so
Correct.
Blockchain is a way to provide that transparency. What are your thoughts and what have you done in terms of research around how the willingness for banks to adopt this technology?
Okay. How do we?
Maybe I can answer this. Okay, so for blockchain technology, what happens is it's immutable, meaning whatever transaction is done, you cannot change the data at all. So it's extremely secure for the people, for the community, which we have already reached out to our subject matter experts, and they believe that it is potentially being employed in the banking and finance industry with not much pushback.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay, thanks a lot. Maybe David, since you just joined, would you have a question?
Sorry, just getting in line. No, okay, right. But I guess you just mentioned something about the security. I mean, how ultimately, because I'm presuming you're dealing with multiple parties, how do you ensure that underlying security? Is it inherently, sorry, let me switch on the camera. Is it inherently by kind of presuming trust by the blockchain technology, or is there any additional layers on top of that?
Oh, okay, this one maybe I just mentioned. Actually, the trust that can be done is the smart contract that designed in each blocks, because we'll be using the Ethereum ledger. So the smart contract is basically the business logic that can be, of course, before implement that require discussion with a lot of different parties to reach the consensus that the transaction or the business logic of each blocks must be right across different parties. So if that, I think that is one of the part that can increase the confidence trust level between each party. And of course, at the same time, the part where we show the Power BI, we can show the contract status, the block. I think that is a way we can see of course, it's Power BI is just an interim solution, but it can deliver into a final dashboard. So people can have a constant update on what happened to the each transaction or each provider. I think the visibility is there, this one.
And may I add on to Q? So how the transactions are being secured? So if you understand blockchain, the underlying concept of blockchain is it is hashed with a certain unique ID. So this unique ID you can never trace back because it's really unique to the situation, and no hackers can really invade the system. So that's sort of inherent from the blockchain technology. That's why we can ensure security from that point of view. Yeah.
Okay, thanks a lot. So that's time's up now. So that's it for this Q&A session. So thank you very much for your presentation. And yeah, it was really good. Next team to go now is Team Useless Things. So you can get ready to go, share your screen, and we will start the timer when you're ready.
Just a moment, please. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, you can start whenever you want.
Okay. Hi, we're Team Useless Things. Have you ever built something creative? We asked students this question. They said, I'm not creative enough. Most useful things have been invented. I'm afraid of making mistakes. So they stopped before they started. But how about this? Change our mindset. Being creative is the process, not the end product. If all useful things have been invented, how about useless things? Just make whatever. So we decided to build a platform for young people where being creative is easy and fun. Users can have fun building useless stuff and meet other inventors. The platform is called Useless Things, UTs. Our target users are teenagers in Thailand, which is more than 5 million. We found similar community, but most of them are not youth-friendly and safe. Our revenue is from ads across subsidization and sponsorships. We plan to reach 5 million users in 3 years. While users are increasing, our big data will become valuable. These are the key features. Users can add and share, search and explore, and will inspire, create safe environment and learn how they innovate. Our web has 5 main menus: UT Square, help me build, create new things, my things, and my journey. This is the UT. After logged-in, user will see the UT Square, recommending a dynamic mixture of things, including things usually ignored. Click the item you like and enjoy item full stories. Click Create New to create. Here, user can post their invention, and if they need help, just click I need help when stuck. The item will then appear on Help Me Build. Other user can access the item and help. This is the last menu, My Journey. It shows, for example, number of things user created, variety of things they made. This is the technical part. We use CDN to store static web page and use the app service to serve its API. And the app service will then deliver information to databases, the blob storage, and other data services, which are content moderator and machine learning service. These are the backends. As a youth-friendly platform, we use the Azure Content Moderator to filter text and images. Now, it's our dynamic recommendation system. The recommended things include newest, random, popular, preferred things, and AI suggested things. For AI suggested item, we will match user and item tags, which are of manual and automated process. Object recognition results from image moderation can be used as tags. The system recommends items in different proportion based on user classes. For example, it recommends a higher percentage of preferred and AI suggested item to stagnant users to encourage them to participate more. These are our user classes. The swim lane means the expected user action. This is the random thing part of the dynamic system. In the future, we will collect user behavior to improve item recommendations and learning analytics. And our visual will be developed on Power BI dashboard. Also, we'll study the correlation of users' passive and active behaviors. For example, how time spent on looking at things correlate with the variety of things they made. And lastly, these are our team with diverse background. Thank you.
Thanks so much for your presentation. Okay, it's now time to move on to, again, the Q&A session. So maybe, Leila, would you like to start with asking a question?
Thanks so much. It was a really interesting one. So you use some recommendation system. So actually, is there a specific, I mean, that the algorithm that you write, is it on which services? I didn't understand that. Oh, in Azure ML. Yeah, am I right? As you put it, if you please provide that can be helpful. And also, so you, for the items that you selected, because we have a recommendation system that recommend item to the user, find the similarity, you use cognitive services. Am I right? Could you please clarify that one? Thank you.
Yeah, sure. My name is Ping. I'm the developer for the team. So could you please go back to the architecture?
Architecture. Yep.
Yeah. So here, so as you can see, we use the app service as the main player of the system. So the recommendation system is like the combination of app service and the machine learning service. So it will mainly sit in the app service. So that answered the first question. So the second question is how we use the object recognition. So we use it in the image moderation. So when the user upload any photo in the system, we will try to extract the object that is in the picture, and then we will use them as the tags, which is like a part of the tag pools system, which is also the part of the recommendation system. Not sure if that answered the question.
Yes, and I have another question. That have you implemented this website is active, or you using that?
Yeah. Sure. We are in the process, so we already built a UX wireframe, like the complete one, and we built a demo for the backend. But we are not successfully integrate them together yet. But we plan to do that pretty soon. It's going to be a long project.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Yeah. Right.
Thank you very much. Just quick reminder to the judges, if you have a question, feel free to use the raise hand function. Otherwise, I will ask you randomly. Next, maybe, well, Yoann, do you have a question?
Yeah, maybe just to complete in terms of phases, can you explain a bit more your vision on like what you have right now and when do you plan to implement the different steps?
What do we have now? Could you please clarify that a little bit?
So it's just like if you have like this month, in 3 months, and in a year.
Oh, okay. Well, I think that would be the question to Pio and Kip.
Yes, I'm Pio. So we already have some registered users. Registered testers. There are 30 students from the north of Thailand. So we will first test with them. We can probably organize a workshop where they create useless things together. And then we will study. So for example, for creating tags, some tags would be from Azure product, but some other tags would be created manually by the creators. So, and we will have them have a look at the stuff they create and probably tell us which one they like and so on. So we will start like manually first to create our databases, and then we will, by word of mouth, we will slowly expand our website. But we think, and we also have network with, for example, Science Museum where we work at, and some other schools in Thailand, including in rural areas. we will use word of mouth by students and teachers. So yeah, and in 3 years, we hope we will reach all schools in Thailand. Is that answering the question?
Thank you.
Yeah, we can move.
Thank you very much.
Want to add something? Yeah, okay, thank you.
I think we have time for one very short question. So David, go ahead and please to the team try and make it relatively brief.
Okay, I'll try and keep it very succinct. I saw as part of the data services, you had a cognitive compute. Could you just expand on that? How is that actually being used as part of the solution?
Yeah, sure. So we use the cognitive service to, well, mostly on the moderation part. So we want to build a youth-friendly platform. So we don't want any, violence or any unwanted content in the system. So we use that as the filter to filter out the unwanted content. But besides that, we noticed that the moderation services also return the object recognition and also some other keywords extraction from the content that we upload to the system. So we also utilize that information returned from the services as well. Hope that answered the question.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much. That's perfect. And that's the end of the Q&A session. So thanks a lot to the team for your presentation and judges for your questions. Now, the next team up is Team Access Denied. So you can share your screen. And we will start the timer when you're ready.
Just to check, is my screen visible?
Yes, it's visible and we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, perfect. So good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Hope everybody's having a beautiful day today. I'm just going to start off. A few years ago, one of my friends, Pratik, was thinking about going for further studies, and he said he would rather take loan from a money lender because he's just always so afraid of banks. And why shouldn't he be? In 2019, early 2019, the economy was in 250 trillion US dollar debt. And 7% of that actually came from loans, out of which 81% were from banking crisis, such as financial instability. And that gave birth to our big idea. We want to enable financial stability for banks and SMEs using smart credit risk analytics. And we wanted a very granular approach, a razor sharp approach, and hence we tried to narrow down our objective to identifying distressed industry sectors and predicting the highest probability of the SMEs that might become a non-performing account. So we developed a fancy Azure architecture wherein we look at different networks where we can get the data set from on-premise or cloud, because security and compliance are always a major concern with banks. Hence, we try to make a virtual network, we also try to mask our data using a third-party tool, Privitar, and we use this in a configurable plug-and-play platform, which can be customized to the bank's needs. In addition to that, we also talk about macroeconomic factors that we input in our data set and take it all to the data lake and store all these data set. We move this on to the Azure ML Studio and try to deploy this at the end of the day using an API. And also the credit user or the business user can finally look at actionable insights in a Power BI dashboard. So let me walk you through with a quick demo of this product. So we store all the resources in this view. As you can see, all of them are displayed. We use our Python codes inside Databricks, and we can also bring in the sentiment data. We go to the, we use our models to in Machine Learning Studio, and we pick the best model outside and take the one that suits our needs. We finally deploy this using an API and rest it on the endpoints. We can also look at or schedule tasks within the data factory. We can store all the data set in in blob. And finally output the results into a Power BI dashboard. So as you can see, we can look at each and every industry and have a view of it. We can look at all the credit loaned and an average prediction probability. We can also look at each and every company or an account that we hold. If we select travel as one sector and we try and figure out one company or one account that we hold, we can get the credit amount loaned and the average prediction probability. We can look at the growth sectors and the sentiment scores that come in from the internet and devise strategies based on what actions we should take further. If we select another company within the same industry and look at the prediction probability. Now this prediction probability for this account is kind of lower, and we can look for certain relief measures that we want to propose to the company, such as bank holidays or programs that the company could enroll into. We can look at the GDP growth rate sectors and also the sentiment scores. So what is our Shark Tank pitch? What are our key differentiators? As we've already mentioned, the security, compliance, and feasibility. Our major key differentiator is data, and such as sentiment data or macroeconomic indicators that would help us give a holistic picture. Based on that, we could also do watch SMEs and look at early warning triggers. Our product roadmap, we've already reached the ideation. We've already completed the ideation stage and done the market research. We are the sole owners in that. We do not have any competitors as of yet. And we've built an MVP. We look at client acquisition stage as in phase 3. And we try to even carry this product after this hackathon to engage with banks and go live within our, or do certain UATs at the end of the day. This is my team, and we are looking for our venture capitalists and hope we can carry forward this product. And we are Team Access Denied.
Thank you so much for your presentation. It's now time again to move to the Q&A session. And I can see that David already has a question, so please go ahead.
Yeah, no, thank you very much. It's more of a question/clarification. So ultimately, what you're looking at is, because you mentioned the term SMEs also in terms of the objectives, but currently you're predicting not per SME, you're looking at SMEs as an industry in terms of likelihood of prediction. Just to clarify that point, because I wasn't entirely sure about that.
Okay, so we are looking at industry sectors, and we have our SME accounts within industry sectors. So if we see the the prediction probability per industry, we can narrow it down, go a level granular, and look at the accounts. And we have probability
per SME specifically.
Yeah. So we will be targeting accounts per se to predict whether they will become non-performing in future or not.
Okay. No, thank you for the clarification.
Thanks a lot. Next, I see Leila, you also have a question.
Just a short question about the sentiment analysis. By the way, that's a really nice one. I like the architecture. Just I'm not sure about the what parts actually from Twitter. You get some data from Twitter. What sort of data it is that needs sentiment analysis? Thank you.
Okay, so we're essentially looking at what people say about on Twitter. So after COVID, things have changed and people have been talking about, and that's why we narrowed it down to travel industry and looked at what is happening inside that. And we can kind of do some sort of social monitoring or brand health monitoring to figure out whether if we're looking at accounts which are not at a very high, default probability, maybe come up with strategies to help them or assist them and not just declare them NPAs.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. And then Emily, go ahead.
Thanks. Thanks for the pitch. It was great. Quick question on you mentioned. I wanted to ask about the competitive landscape. You mentioned you don't believe you have any competitors at this point.
Okay, so we did a little bit of competitive benchmarking, and we saw that there is only one research paper that has come up with a certain idea, but that research paper uses only financial data. On the other hand, we could have an SP Global as another competitor, but they're solely focusing on credit scores. However, we are not trying to build a credit score. We're trying to value add to the credit score. And we also are using alternate data to support our hypothesis within the bank's infrastructure. So essentially, we become the sole owners in the market.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you very much. We still have 2 minutes for the Q&A, so does anyone else have any questions? Maybe Annie, would you like to ask a question?
Thank you for the presentation. I think I really like the idea. I was just wondering whether, so I see that your sentiment analysis and all the macro, all that is by industry. But if you take healthcare industry, for example, an SME who is in the telemedicine area is a better is in a better place than somebody else who is doing maybe an EHR. So are you considering those sort of differences when you're going to the company specific scoring?
Okay, so we tend to deploy this as a plug and play configurable framework. And we want to be able to customize to the bank's end user needs. So we would get this from business and we would be able to monitor or incorporate such things given the accounts the banks hold.
Right. So you have opportunity to expand your model.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay, great.
Okay, I think that's, oh, Yoann, you can ask one last question.
Yeah, just very quickly, taking the angle of the bank only, are you sure that you have all the data? For example, if you take my SME bank account, I have 4 different banks. So how do you consolidate it? And why not using more the accounting side to give this information to the bank?
Okay, so I think a little bit of domain knowledge comes into place over here. Most of the team is from a banking environment, and we believe that we are all operating on the bank's data. And bank's data also has the bureau data. So we would also, assuming that bureau data is available as well as the bank data is available, we would have an idea of the accounts you hold in different banks. Having said that, this is again a business related problem and at a client front, and we want to ensure security and compliance first, and that's how we will be dealing with such a situation. I would like to ask any of my teammates to add on if they have more answers to say.
So, sorry.
There's a lot of echo on your side. I think technically we're actually out of time. So Yoann, were you actually satisfied with that answer? And we can maybe stop.
Yeah, all good. We can move on. Thanks.
Okay, thanks. Sorry, Sakshi, but we need to ensure fairness for everyone. So thanks a lot for your presentation. Team Access denied. It's now time for the last team before the break. So Team AVEHEALTH, you can start sharing your screen once Team Access denied has stopped sharing theirs. And yeah, perfect. And then you can start when you're ready.
Can you see my screen and hear me loud and clear?
Yes.
Okay.
So can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, sorry for the glitch. Yeah, so in addition to banks, individual banks, this could, in the long term, be also available for the monetary authorities like the central banks of the country, so that they can monitor the overall situation. You know, the banks, as he mentioned, that the banks would have data of a particular account that you're holding with them, just them, and not the data of the other accounts that you have with other banks. So it could probably be useful at a central bank level where they can monitor the overall health of a particular company.
Okay, thanks. Sorry, we need to move on to the next team now. So Team AVEHEALTH, you can start whenever you're ready.
Great, thank you. Just like us, birds also require medical treatment when they fall sick or get injured. We want to bring the same care we provide for people to birds. Our answer to that is AVEHEALTH, your AI solution for bird health monitoring. Birds are extremely precious to our ecosystem and aviaries. However, with resource and manpower limitations, zookeepers and vets are unable to provide the highest quality of care for birds in aviaries. As such, birds do not receive real-time response to their health needs, which affects their overall recovery and well-being. First, evaluating our impact on the Singapore's market, there are currently 5,000 birds in Singapore's Jurong Bird Park whose health we can potentially improve. We can bring our impact up to a total of 11,500 birds in the top 3 aviaries around the world and subsequently 400 billion birds worldwide. We spoke to the people at Jurong Bird Park to better understand the bird injuries. Alan, a vet at Jurong Bird Park, shared with us that the earlier the diagnosis and stabilization of injuries in birds, the better the chance of a successful outcome. The 3 main points that our solution aims to tackle are manual monitoring of birds, lack of expertise of zookeepers in identifying bird injuries, and a lack of a centralized system for keeping bird health records. After thoroughly understanding the challenges that aviaries face in bird healthcare, we developed our product AVEHEALTH. AVEHEALTH is an automated monitoring system that enables early detection and management of birds' injuries. Our engine is powered by an intelligent cloud IoT system entirely hosted on Microsoft Azure. Our key features include an accurate cloud-based AI analytics for early detection of injured birds, an IoT system that connects cameras to the cloud to enable real-time monitoring of the aviaries, and an alert system through our web app to notify zookeepers and vets of potential bird injuries. Let's take a detailed look at our solution architecture. When a new image is captured by the camera device, it will be handled by IoT Hub and pushed to blob storage. The upload of a new image on blob storage will trigger the machine learning model on the machine learning workspace to make a prediction on the image, which will then be also stored on the blob storage. An injured prediction on the blob storage will then trigger a message to the AVEHEALTH web app hosted on Azure App Service to retrieve the injured image and notify the user of the injured bird. Through the web app, the user reviews the injured image and feedbacks to the algorithm on whether the injured prediction was correct, which will help to improve the model in the next training iteration. Here, we show a demonstration of our solution. The IoT camera captures the image of the injured bird and uploads it to blob storage. The user can review the images of injured birds via our web app hosted on Azure App Service. And this web app will be asynchronously updated whenever there is a new injured prediction coming in. The user will be able to see the bird species as well as the location and time of the detection of injury. And when the user is done reviewing the image, they can click on Done Reviewing and continue to review other images. The user can also feedback to the algorithm by confirming or rejecting the injured prediction, which will help to improve the model during the next training iteration. AVEHEALTH's solution really stands out in providing both an identification of species as well as health monitoring capability within the same platform. Our closest competitor is Bird Health Buddy, however, they lack in the health monitoring capability. AVEHEALTH analytics capabilities will scale to include a powerful trio of image, video, and audio analytics. The information from this analytics can be stored in the first ever electronic health database for birds of aviaries, allowing the long-term tracking of birds' health and the long-term improvement of our analytics engine. Our main revenue streams consist of a yearly subscription model and the initial installation of cameras and cloud-based software. With our scalable cloud-based solution, our algorithm improves over time in speed and accuracy, providing an increasing value for our customers at the same cost over time. We are currently in discussion with Jurong Bird Park, which gives us access to key opinion leaders and resources for the implementation of our solution. With the stability and improved accuracy of our algorithm, we will branch out to other markets, such as bird rescue centers. In summary, AVEHEALTH is a unique and transformative AI solution for animal care powered by our proprietary analytics engine. This is further supported by our scalable business model and our ongoing discussion with Jurong Bird Park. Our diverse team puts forward complementary skill set and knowledge in AI and machine learning, IoT systems, product development, business and marketing to ensure the success of our solution. In our hackathon journey, we have gained much insight into avian healthcare and learned to use Azure Cloud Services to integrate different parts of our solution. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, and that was right on time. So we can now move on to our Q&A session. And Emily, I can see you have a question already, so please feel free to go ahead.
Hey, thanks so much. That was great. I am interested in your data set for your computer vision. Because you're going to need a lot of data, right? So how are you at the moment gaining that data? Are you planning to work alongside the bird parks? Is there already an open source? I don't know where this particular data is coming from. So I'm just interested to know, how you're going to get all the data you need for that initial model. Obviously, then you would want it to be self-learning and, continue down that path. And I can see you've got human in the loop learning there with your current model, where they're going to actually determine, okay, yes, it's injured, no, it's not injured, and then that will feed back into your algorithm and give you all that kind of good stuff back. But yeah, just interested about the initial data set.
Thanks, Emily, for your question. So for our initial data set that we used to train our POC model, we actually collected images of injured birds from a wildlife rescue center in Singapore. So our injured data set came from just one source, the wildlife rescue center, whereas for our normal data set, uninjured data set, we scraped images from the web. So moving on, as we want to scale our prototype, we'll be working with Jurong Bird Park, which is our first customer, which we aim to be our first customer, and we will set up collaboration with them to have maybe set up a camera system in their vet clinics to capture the images of the injured birds that they actually see in Jurong Bird Park.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay.
Because you're going to need tons of images.
Right. Yeah. So the retraining, the ability of our algorithm to retrain on new data set as they are labeled by the user, it will be really helpful in helping to scale this model in terms of accuracy and less overfitting.
Yeah. Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Just a quick reminder, I see we have quite a lot of questions actually. I'd like to give the opportunity to everyone to ask, so let's try and keep questions and answers brief, please. Next is Minhun. Please go ahead with your question.
Thank you for a very interesting presentation. I have a question about business model. It says we need money for initial installation. So I'm curious how much money it will be and who will pay for it, and wondering if that organization has enough money to fund your project.
That is a good question. So for now, it's just an MVP stage, and then we hope to collaborate with Jurong Bird Park, and then from there, as we build up our relationship with Jurong Bird Park and get the algorithms out, then we can kind of discuss and negotiate, do a value-based pricing model with Jurong Bird Park. Yeah. So for now, with the backing, and then for moving forward with the backing of Jurong Bird Park and then building up our business model, we can potentially reach out to the rest of the market.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks a lot. Annie, I think you had a question.
Yeah, and quite related to Emily's question, but like very basic question about how easy it is to detect, unhealthy birds. Because when I look at a bird, I could barely make the difference. But and you have these cameras. So have you gotten any? I mean, have you researched that and you think that the probability is high or 50-50, or what's your take on that?
Right. I agree that sometimes when we look at the image, we are unable to tell whether the bird is injured or not. That is why we also implemented model interpretation algorithms that help us to look into why the model is predicting the bird to be injured in a certain way. So in this diagram, you can see that the blue regions will be contributing to injured bird prediction. So that gives the user and us developers some visibility in how our model is capturing these injured features.
Okay. Okay. All right. Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Okay, that's perfect. We're right on time for this Q&A. It's the end of the Q&A session now, so thank you so much to AVEHEALTH for your presentation. So now it is time for us to go on a short 15-minute break. Just also for our judges, we'll be sending you to a separate breakout room so that you can debrief on these first few teams that you've heard. And we'll see you soon in a couple of minutes. So see you in 50 minutes, and to our participants, feel free to take a break and have a drink and have a stretch. So see you soon. back in 2 minutes, so please get yourselves ready and seated, and we'll resume shortly. Okay, everyone, thanks a lot for the wait. I hope you had all a nice break. So it's now time to resume with our pitching. As you can see, so we've had the first 5 teams go. We've now got 5 more teams, and we'll be starting with Mamatech, then Feelcoomers, Telescope, CreditMate, and Niubility, just for the reminder. So it is now time for Team Mamatech to go. And you can get your slides ready and share your screen and go ahead when you're ready, and we will start the timer.
Okay, can you guys already can see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay, I'll start. Ideally, at least one time in a month, every parent needs to check their child malnutrition status to doctors. But in many underprivileged countries, one doctor must check 2,345 children, and it requires 15 minutes just to identify malnutrition status for one child. This lack of resource and lack of time lead to every child can only be measured one time in 3 months. Good day all, I'm Abigail, a malnutrition activist from Indonesia, and together with the tech team, we created Mama, an artificial intelligence solution to detect child malnutrition based on real on-ground insight. Child malnutrition remains alarming, and malnourished children are in risk of incurable lifelong health implications. The key solution is early identification for early corrective action, especially during the first 1,000 days of life, with the right corrective action for each of the 6 types of malnutrition. But today, 65% of identification for malnutrition are incorrect. Imagine if this being applied to 270 million children in underprivileged countries, then on approximation, 177 million children are in risk of misidentification. Introducing Mama, an AI solution that transforms the hassle traditional way of malnutrition identification from the previous one that is very time-consuming process, hard to read result, and not an enjoyable process. Now with Mama, it becomes super fast. All you need to do is just take a photo, and Mama will determine the age, sex, and genetic. User can put alongside weight with it, and Mama will calculate the malnutrition score and give a very accurate and easy to understand data in form of interpretation. And last, which is very important, Mama can give a very enjoyable process as baby did realize being measured and they don't cry. The additional benefit of Mama, it enables open source of data, enable COVID-19 social distancing, and doctor and parents no need to commute as they can use Mama. How it works: using WHO JET score as the fastest and precise for malnutrition identification. Every child's growth is unique, which is influenced by the three growth factors: environment, gender, and genetics. JET score compares a child's weight and height to other children under the same growth factor to define malnutrition status. And Mama helps to match a child with a population data that have the same growth factor for a more precise and accurate result. By using JET score of a more look-alike population, we can have a more precise diagnosis of all 6 types of malnutrition around the world, as the cut-off JET score are already defined by the WHO. Mama tags are supported by Azure Cognitive Service. When the user took an image, the image will be sent to custom vision, where it will determine the age, sex, and genetic, and our Python script will determine the child height. The result is then returned to the user, where the user can input weight alongside with the suggested data. Once submitted, the script inside our Azure Cognitive Service will calculate the malnutrition score and return back the result to the user. With its unique selling point, Mama are confident to be the leading among competitors. For the go-to-market roadmap, we decided to focus on Indonesia first with 2 phases. First for health organization, government, and hospital, and the second phase for parents of baby for 0 to 4-year-old. Under the business model of subscription model, we can bring benefit to user, which is increasing productivity by 50 times more for health organization, government, and hospital, and cheaper than doctor visit by 40% for parents of baby from 0 to 4-year-old. Under a very feasible break-even point and a very small portion of total available market, we are also aiming for a phased future development, which is utilizing time-of-flight sensor for 3D scan that enables weight measurement and a tailored nutrition recommendation for malnutrition prevention. Together, let's transform the hassle traditional way of malnutrition identification. We are for Mama team. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your presentation. Okay, and that was spot on time as well. It's now time for our Q&A session with the judges. So judges, if you have any questions, please feel free to raise your hand. Maybe Minhun, would you like to start? Or Emily, since you have a question?
Sorry, I always have the first question. Thank you so much. This is really, really cool. I didn't even know that there were other apps in the market, and I saw on your competitive landscape slide that you sort of put yourself up there as leading for cost effectiveness and ease of use and all of those things. Can you tell me a bit about how difficult it will be to get this into hospitals and doctors in your first business model, which is that B2B model? Are they currently using any of these other apps? Would they have to switch from that app to this app? Or is it really that generally they're using the manual process and it would just be from going from a manual process to the app? What I'm trying to get to is, like, are they using any of your competitors' apps at the moment? And how hard is it, do you think it would be for you to get into those doctors and hospitals?
Okay, thank you for the question. So currently, the doctors, the HCP, they are not using any of the application because from the current landscape of the competitor, they cannot give a very precise and accurate result. Because there are 2 factors, which is very important. One is when we mentioned before, I already mentioned that we determine the malnutrition score, even the HCP, using the JET score. But JET score is really dependent into the population data that is being used. Now, the current application, the doctor cannot get a clarity where the population data is gathered by the competitor application. But with Mama, we can help them to really like making the population data is really like very unique and a more look alike to the child current situation that being measured. So it's right really fast. They can get the right data, the population data, and calculate the right JET score and have a more precise end result.
Great, thank you.
Thanks a lot. Okay, for the next question, well, maybe Minhun, I'll give it to you if you have a question.
Hi, thanks for the presentation. I'm curious about the process. I didn't get it actually. So the first part was taking photo, and it says it'll identify the height. It may use the ruler next to the baby. So does it mean that it identifies the ruler and the baby and makes the accurate decision? And the next question is about the weight. So it says input the weight to help mama, but how people weigh the baby? Do they have another do they need another device to calculate the weight, or is it part of the photo identification process?
Yeah, so for the process, actually, we use two services in measuring the photos. The first one is the custom vision, which labels the baby age, genetics, and medical condition. So basically, to get the Z-score, we need to pass some parameters like weight, baby age, genetics, and the height. But custom vision does not provide the service to measure the height, so we made our custom Python code to measure the height. And it is currently a challenge to measure the weight because there is we can measure the height from image, right? So currently the users need to measure the weight manually and input it to the app. But in the long term, we will upgrade and research the technology to research the weight measurement using the 3D scan 3D scan camera method and flight of time of flight methodology.
Okay, and maybe to add to the question, the answer, one thing that is really fall out for the misidentification of measurement is not regarding of weighting or anything else, but it's regarding about the getting the right data to calculate the JET score. This is really the pain that is currently faced by the HCP. So when they don't get the right data, they cannot calculate the right one, and then the identification is just wrong. So it's just what actually that we are trying to help the HCP here.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. And now time's up for this Q&A. So I'm sorry, David, but I'll get back to you for the next team if you have a question. So thanks a lot for your presentation, team. And it's now time for the next one to go. So team Feelcoomers Eins, feel free to share your screen when you're ready and we will start the timer.
Is it my screen can clearly show?
Yes, and I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, let me start. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming to this presentation. An honor to meet you here. My name is Yusuf Gadensa from Feelcoomers Eins team. Being disabled should not mean being disqualified from having access to every aspect of life. A quote from Emma Thompson. According to the World Deaf Federation, there are approximately 72 million deaf people around the world, more than 80% of them living in the developing countries. Data from WHO multi-center study in 1998 found that about 4.2% of the world population.
Yes. I'm sorry, your slides have somehow disappeared. You're not showing anymore.
Okay, wait. Is it now? Show it?
Yeah, now we can see again. So I won't deduct that time. You can go over the slide again if you want to.
Okay. Data from the WHO multi-center study in 1998 found that about 4.2% of the world population suffer from hearing loss. In Indonesia, around 4.6% of the population experience this disorder. This figure also makes Indonesia the fourth country in the world to have the number of hearing loss sufferers. The number of hearing loss sufferers in Indonesia is around 9.6 million, but only 3% have hearing aids. This impact caused by this disorder is quite extensive and severe.
namely disrupting cognitive, psychological, and social development. As a result, the quality of human resource is also low. World Deaf Federation issues a global leader challenge aimed to promote the use of sign language by local, national, and global leaders in partnership with National Association of Deaf Friends in each country, as well as organizations led by other deaf friends. In promoting the linguistic identity of the deaf community as well as learning sign language, it is necessary to have a platform that can facilitate this. Of course, this platform must keep up with the times to make it more relevant, because it will be used as a means of communication. Based on this problem, we are from the Feelcoomers Eins team are proudly present Devlator, mobile application based on artificial intelligence as a media to promote sign language and improve the welfare of deaf people. The implementation plan itself targets people in Indonesia through digital marketing, social responsibility, market research, and this program to support SDGs. And also we have a business model. It's a B2C e-commerce with revenue stream and cost structure as in slide. Meanwhile, the value proposition itself is by mobile app, easy to use, affordable, materials can be easily sourced and is economically sustainable and has massive potential of scalability. And also, this is the following is a work diagram of Azure, which is integrated with the mobile application, where it mainly works with Azure Cognitive Service for speech translating and processing text from Cognitive Service to gather neat image and cannot give to user. Another diagram which shows that learning process main goal is to create new language that Cognitive Service haven't provided. Okay, let's move to the demo application. This is our demo. And you can see in here, we choose the translation mode. And in here, we choose AO. AO means let's go. And we can process and show the video like in the slide. Okay, let's try another word. Maybe we use makan malam. It's been a dinner in English. And we can process it and it will show the video like this. Okay, let's try another mode with speech to sign language. It's been a hello and goodbye. We tried a sentence and it will show the list of recording. And in here, we show the video of the result from our recording before. And in here, you can see the link from the GitHub as in the slide. Thank you for your attention and good morning.
Thank you so much for your presentation. Okay, we can now move on to the Q&A session. So David, since you didn't have the opportunity to ask a question before, would you like to jump in here?
Yeah, no, sure. Happy to do so. So actually, very interesting presentation. Thank you very much. So maybe one question, but it's two parts. Right now, it's a standalone application, but with the proliferation of various translation services, from one language to another and so forth, are you also thinking of potentially providing this as a service, whereby essentially it's an API that's integrated into a bigger suite? And again, if I understood correctly, it's really that translation between Omnicom, essentially signs, to basically, from a translation point of view, I'm just kind of trying to think about in terms of replicability, what would be kind of the key unique aspect of that will differentiate it from someone else, for example? So thank you.
Okay, thank you for your question. Our different value of the Devlator itself, it can be translated with from Indonesia to English. We show in our app before is translated from Indonesia to English and get to etc. Because for now we just can use Indonesia to English, not diversely. But in the next our vision, we will implement it to use Indonesia to English and English to Indonesia. And also we will implement to our university, because in our university itself, we have a disability center. So it will be help to there with the online learning situation like this. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. So for the next question, maybe Leila, would you have any question?
Yes, very good presentation. Just have a question about the sign language. So you have a database that actually is matched. So when you text actually to voice or the other, and you get the what they actually saying. So how's that work? Is it a database or something like that in case of the architecture?
Okay, let me make it clear. Do you mean that where we get the database, right? Okay, actually we get that database is not we made from scratch. We get it from Microsoft ASL, American Sign Language, and we created like a JSON. But there's a problem. There's when we create to the JSON file, there's a several data that not show the video. In here we show the video is we pick from YouTube. So when a JSON is directed to some output of the word, it is directed to the video of the YouTube. But the problem is some of the video is not show, it may be a private or it will be deleted. So there is a problem with that, but most of the data, it can be shown correctly as you can see in our slide. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next question, Annie, maybe do you have any questions?
No, I think I got my clarifications. Thanks.
Okay, great. Yoann, do you have any questions?
Do you know if there is already existing modern data sets, even services that you can plug to and use to accelerate the development of your application? Because if you develop everything from scratch, maybe you can just translate Indonesian to English and having an English to sign language translation. Did you look at these kind of things?
Actually, we didn't find there's such kind of that database, because when we first time searched that, we knew that show that we knew the database is more clearly full enough to fulfill our requirement is Microsoft ASL. So we use that Microsoft ASL and process it in Microsoft Azure like that with a cognitive service.
Okay, thanks a lot for that question and answer. Minhun, do you have any questions on your side?
No, I'm fine.
Okay, and Emily, anything on your end?
No, nothing from me.
Okay, then I think we can end this Q&A. So thank you very much for your presentation. And the next team to go now is Team Telescope. So you can share your screen when you're ready and start the presentation.
Okay, thank you, Sarah. Okay, Sarah, check. Can you see my screen?
Yes, and I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, thank you. Imagine you are the local authorities with a vision to achieve zero waste in your country. How can we start? Hi, I'm Iqmal from Telescope, and I'm here today to share our idea with the aim to revolutionize waste management. Every year, more than 11 billion tons of waste are produced worldwide. Uncoordinated disposal of solid waste pose risk and hazard for human welfare. Today, there is still lack of consistent and high-quality data such as amount of produced waste, where it is generated, and where this goes. Secondly, most solutions suggest ultrasonic sensors and cameras to measure field level in bins and containers. This approach is good. However, this would require a huge amount of investment because of massive number of trash bins are required, and not to forget the high risk of vandalism. The last pain point, coordination is inefficient and scheduling is being done manually. Based on our study, we found that some of the waste collection routes were overlapping, indicating that optimization is necessary. The solution for these pain points are Scupro. Scupro enable data collection and provide effective route management based on demands and historical trends, ensuring the full utilization of truck capacity and time. How do we do that? By installing access load and geographic information system or GIS sensors onto the garbage truck, together with route optimization algorithm, which we believe this will lead to a great kickstart in improving our current waste management. To tackle the data problem, Action load and GIS sensor will collect real-time weight and movement of garbage trucks. With this information, machine learning algorithm built using Azure ML that help to cluster the data, hence identify areas that need high frequency of waste collection as shown on the left side of the dashboard. On the right-hand side, the dashboard will show you ranking of daily waste collection rate according to area. So, in the next trip, the truck's route will be prioritized based on demand in the area, which help you to decide which area to focus. This dashboard is using Power BI, and you could make a data-driven decision making as the data will fit in for every minute. Next solution is route optimization as displayed in this video. As local authority, we believe collection route was done manually without any predictive capability. Therefore, with ScoopPro, you just need to specify the location of waste collection on the map, and ScoopPro will advise the best route to take. As you can see here, you can set your preferred location point, and if collection is done manually without optimization, the total distance is about 157 kilometers. But with optimized route powered by ScoopPro, it is nearly 30 kilometers shorter, saving about 20% plus in total distance, hence saving the time, food, and money. So what makes ScoopPro different from other solutions? Our unique approach would only require a significant less amount of investment, since we would only install the required sensors on the garbage truck instead of every trash bin in the area. Based on our case study in Bandar Baru Salak Tinggi, our estimation shows 63% cost saving or investment cost with truck load sensor rather than mass installation of trash bin sensors. Here's an overview of overall architecture from data collection using sensors to the front-end dashboard where public and local authority can assess their usage and decision-making process. The load sensor and tracking unit data are transmitted to Azure IoT Hub, the data that consumed by Azure ML to build clustering algorithm and feed the result to route optimization API in Azure Maps. The result of analysis and optimization will be utilized by the local authority for waste management planning and general public awareness as well. For deployment plan, we target to deploy the solution for 6 sprints across 6 months using agile methodology, which bring a lot of benefit to Sepang District Council. We plan to start our pilot project with Sepang until the trial run is successful before scaling up to other districts as well. In summary, ScoopPro offers performance improvement, cost optimization, and lastly, raising user awareness. Here's our energetic team consisting of 3 members with passion on improving waste management towards better quality of life. All of us are qualified is engineering background and diverse experience is IT and data science. With that, we thank you for your time.
Thank you so much for your presentation. Okay, we can now move on to the Q&A session. So to the judges, do you have any questions? Feel free to raise your hands if you do, and else, Annie, maybe would you like to start? Oh, David, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much for the presentation. Perhaps the question I have is you focused the messaging on waste effectively, waste management. But I'm just curious, ultimately the solution that's kind of been shared today is really kind of focused in route optimization. So is it any particular reason why it's specific to waste? So actually this is something that could be applicable to any logistics, essentially.
Okay, thank you. Okay, yes, for your first question, it's applicable. Yes, it's applicable to other logistic industry as well. But we are focusing because we are trying to tackle on one of our stakeholders, which is Sepang District Council in this particular problem, where they address the problem and issue to us, and then we are trying to offer this solution, which is combination of load sensors and then this optimization route algorithm.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Sandy, you okay?
Yep, I believe your answer is complete.
Okay.
Yep, thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Next, Annie, you can go ahead with your question.
Yeah, thanks. I had so you were sensing the axle load to decide where's the maximum. But one step before that, how do you direct the truck to where the maximum waste is?
Okay, Husseini, do you plan to take this question?
Yes. Thank you. By the way, my name is Husseini. Your question is where we want to direct the truck to the waste location,
Yeah,
is it
before
right?
it collects the waste, you will have to assess where the waste is more or less, and you don't have that. The earlier the comparison you did was with the trash bin lid.
Okay,
Yeah, but
Husseini,
without
can I
that,
start?
yeah.
Yeah, Iqmal,
Okay,
please start, and then
okay.
I will add up.
What we're trying to do actually, we try to use reverse reverse approach, which is actually we learn from the history data. So actually, it might not successful for the first month or 2 months, but as long as we go through this process, we can gain more data, and then we can study based on the demand area, and then we test the waste collection. Husseini, you may add.
Yep, in summary, is what we want to do is first, you are using the sensors, the load sensor and GIS sensor. We want to gather or collect the weight collection or the consumption of garbage in the areas for 1 or 2 months, so that we can observe the trend in the area, and also calculate the ranking, which area contribute to the highest weight of the garbage. And then when we have that data, we will use that data to build our machine learning algorithm. So with that machine learning algorithm, we will create a cluster of area that need high frequency of attention or high frequency for pickup of the garbage. With that, we will have a location. Then that location, the user just need to select their preferred location, and our route optimization will choose the best route to go to the location with a smallest cost, with the effective cost saving. Is that answer your question? So this is the thought process on this product.
Yeah, and maybe I'm probably not getting it, but you're looking at historical data to decide where the maximum waste is, right?
Actually, we are using the sensor to build the historical data. So we are gathering data first, and then we are analyzing the data.
Yeah,
using
and
this
if it's
algorithm.
not real-time data, then there's no real-time route as well, isn't it? If you know already where the load of waste is, then you could have a fixed route for the collection. So I'm not getting that whole, there is a real-time thing, and if you don't have a real-time change in waste load, then why not just have a fixed route?
All right. So now I got your question. Actually, this location, we are not our client, which is the municipal district itself, that specify the location. So even if they have the location, they can straight away use the route optimization to do the collection.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry, Yoann, but we've just run out of time for this Q&A, so I'll get back to you for the next team. So thank you very much for your presentation. It is now time for the next team, CreditMate. So you can share your screen and start when you're ready, and we'll start the timer.
Thank you, Zara. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see it well, and I can hear you loud and clear.
This is a deck.
Yeah.
Right, okay. On present mode?
Yeah, it's in the.
Okay, great, all right. Okay. Hi everyone, we're CreditMate, a virtual risk management manager that helps small, medium businesses and financial institutions, 1, manage their risk, and 2, lower losses from defaults. We do this by analyzing unstructured data in real time, enabling better investment decisions. Our team is made up of myself and my co-founder, Dr. Hassan, and we're currently in a global accelerator called Entrepreneur First. They're based in London with a Singapore base, and the Singapore base is backed by SG Innovate, primarily for scientists to build deep, meaningful tech solutions. We went through a rigorous process and were 2 of the 86 selected out of 1,400 applicants. My background was in 2 fast-growing startups previously in fintech and e-commerce as early employees. Later on, moving to Gartner, where I was helping C-level executives and enterprise organizations make technology advisory decisions. And my tech co-founder, Dr. Hassan, he has a PhD in finance. He used to do investment research, and he's built multiple big data analytic products with over 10 years of experience in portfolio management, AI, and data science. In the last 12 weeks, we've spoken to over 100 companies in 9 countries and secured 11 beta testing partners of financial institutions worth $4.4 trillion in AUM. Here are some examples. The problem we've identified is that much of small, medium businesses' data is unstructured and qualitative. This impairs financial institutions' ability to assess, manage their losses from potential defaults, and at the same time, limit small, medium businesses' access to capital. Breaking down the problem, it's twofold. For small, medium businesses, they don't have an integrated view of their finances and cash flows, therefore limiting their ability to de-risk themselves and limiting their ability to get better access to capital. For financial institutions, the banks primarily, the information they need is scattered all over in different departments in unstructured format. This impairs their ability to assess and manage their overall risks and prevent loan structurings that could reduce the likelihood of default.
We are solving this problem by providing financial institutions and companies technology to consolidate and process unstructured data in a much more efficient and timely manner. This enables them to take timely actions to prevent costly defaults and losses. In terms of our solution architecture, it consists of 4 core components. The first component ingests unstructured data from numerous sources. It uses Microsoft Graph API to pull data from OneDrive and Azure file storage. And it uses Bing Search API to pull real-time news feeds from the web. The second component uses data processing technology powered by Azure Computer Vision and text analytics to convert unstructured information into structured data. The third component uses our economically literate AI models to extract relevant, economically meaningful information from these unstructured documents and enabled users to perform targeted search queries to find just the right answers to their questions and ask economically meaningful questions in simple language. The fourth component allows users to publish results using Microsoft Graph API on their Power BI dashboards, as well as store it back in their cloud storage system. Now let me quickly walk you through a use case shared by one of our potential customers. The user shared that they are concerned about the impact of regulation, sustainability, and carbon-related regulation on one of their portfolio companies. Currently, they mentioned they spend about 30 to 60% of their time mapping the relevant regulation to the information disclosed by the company. With CreditMate, once they have uploaded their portfolio information, all they have to do is select a sector and a company they are interested in, and our models automatically extract the relevant regulations that the regulator is asking. And once they select the regulation related to environment, they can find out what are the relevant questions they need to answer and select a source for that company that they wish to find answers from. And once they run the search, the model will automatically extract the relevant model will crawl through all the information disclosed by the company across numerous sources and find the relevant answers. In this case, the question was, what are the ozone depleting substances in the company's emissions? And if you look at the first answer, the model recognizes that on third paragraph of page 81, the company has this passage, and within this passage, it recognizes that these are the names of the substances that cause ozone depletion. And not only it can extract passages, it can also extract tables that provide information related to those ozone depleting substances, significantly speeding up the research time and enabling users to consume a lot more information in their research than they can currently do. That's all for our introduction. We're happy to take any questions.
Thank you very much for your presentation. So we can now jump into the Q&A, and Emily, I can see you already have a question, so feel free to go ahead.
Hey guys, thank you so much. That was really interesting. Quick question. You've got 2 end customers, right? So you've got SMBs and then you've got banks. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And what is the different model for each of those when we're talking about, and I know you've got some beta testers. What is that going to look like in terms of the sales cycle for SMBs versus banks, for example? So what's your offering for banks and how much does that cost versus your offering for SMBs and how much that costs and what you provide?
In terms of the process flow, we're starting off with financial institutions because primarily there are more incentives for them. They would require this information, and on the company side, they would be happy to disclose the information for lower cost of capital. So it's primarily through the needs of the financial institutions, we're able to access the companies that they want these sort of automated process, streamlined process with.
Okay, so you go through the banks regardless?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, got it.
So
all right, thank you.
We help them process the information they currently have, and then whatever information they're missing, they can put us in touch with their portfolio companies and then extract more information.
Okay, that makes more sense. All right, cool. Thank you.
Thanks a lot for that question. So for the next question, maybe David, do you have any questions?
Yeah, sorry, I'm still trying to connect in terms of the key focus, essentially, because it seems like you have a multiplicity of modules and what they do. And if I focus back down to the definition of the problem beyond the SMB on the financial institution side, it seems to be primarily focused on disparate sources of data. Yet initially, if I heard correctly, it was about pulling from open source data. So I'm just trying to clarify that. Is it primarily focused on leveraging on existing data within the institution or data that has access to, or incorporating further external information?
So both. So we're starting with the data that they already have or already have access to. So for example, the data they have within the walls of the institution or the data they can gather from the web. So for example, news, etc. But so based on that, we can help them identify what is information they have and what information it is that they're lacking. And then whatever information they're lacking, they can just ask their company to provide more clarity on.
So if I may, just very quickly follow on. So is there then a prerequisite for them to already have the taxonomies and an understanding of where their data is and their sources? Or all you need essentially is like, we simply know this data in X, Y, and Z. You're able to consume that information and start making sense out of it. So I just want to get a sense of how much of that is a prerequisite.
No, so we already make sense of the regulations. So the model already bakes in any relevant regulations, be it related to sustainability or other banking regulations. All they have to do is connect our platform to where they store their data. So basically their Azure files or OneDrive systems. And we'll pull in the unstructured data, process it all, annotate it based on what is relevant, related to regulation, what is not material, etc. And then based on that, they can themselves see what information they're lacking, what information they already have.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, just to add on to that really quickly, they can choose their input version. So it's either upload files or their drive or either on the web. So they're able to choose the inputs. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. And now for the next question, maybe Minhun, do you have anything to ask?
Yes, I want to make it clearer. So could you give me one example that the information is processed and analyzed by AI, and finally it becomes useful information for preventing default?
Right. So, for example, in this case, the case that I was just sharing, so the customer was concerned that there's going to be new regulation on companies that are emitting too much carbon emissions, or sorry, too much ozone depleting substances, and they were trying to figure out how much one of their specific portfolio companies, what is the level of their ozone depleting substances, and then compare that to what is it that the regulation requires. So basically, what we are able to do is we are able to help them identify, first of all, extract the information that company is disclosing. And then because the models also understand what is the level that the regulation is asking, so we can allow them to compare and see whether or not the level specified by the company is in compliant with the regulation or not. And if it is not, then there is a potential of default. So basically, they're able to see. So regulation has not currently kicked in. So basically, if they're currently at the moment, they can identify how likely it is to be in compliance with the regulation, they can take actions to prevent any future non-compliance.
So in that scenario, you are assuming AI has enough intelligence to find out whether the regulation is applicable for that information, right?
Yes, so the regulation itself, so for example, in this case, the Sustainability Accounting Standard Boards, it itself says that these are the issues that are material for this or that sector. So as soon as we know the company sector, we can identify what are the issues that the regulator or the accounting standards deems material. And then based on that, we can see what are the questions that they're asking and find the information related to those questions and see how compliant the company is.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thanks. That's time up for this Q&A session. So thanks a lot for your presentation. And now we have, last but not least, Team Niubility to go. So feel free to share your screen. You can get started when you're ready.
Can you see the chat I sent in the chat? These are 3 links about our project website, and the 2 of link is a YouTube about our supporters sharing video. If you are interested, you can view it. So I'm going to share my screen. So you can see my screen, right? Currently?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Yeah. So I have sent the link in the chat. So can I start it?
Yes, go ahead.
Hi, my respectful judges. Welcome to our session. Today, we are very honored to bring our product vision, physical disability, and speech difficulty in this final stage. Sorry, something went wrong. I'm getting back.
你是不是飞行模式？
没有点飞行模式，我点
看一下。
我点什么叫飞行模式？
好，你把 WiFi 关了再开一次。
Zhang, I think your video just froze.
Sorry, can you hear us?
Maybe turn your video off and try to reshare the screen.
Hear us properly? Hi. Can you hear us properly?
Yes, we can hear you. Maybe you want to take the video off and then share your screen and just do the screen sharing without having the video on.
So now is sharing about our site, right? Can you see our? Yeah. Can we restart again?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hi, my respectful judges. Welcome to our session. My name is Yao from National University of Singapore. Team. What the fuck?
Wi-Fi. 你的 Wi-Fi.
If you're having issues with the screen sharing, we can do it on your side if needed.
Sorry. Can you hear us properly now?
Yes, we can hear you. If this time doesn't work, we can always share your slides on our side. So you can try again, and if it doesn't work, we'll share the slides.
Okay, this is once again. Hi, my respectful judges. Welcome to our session. My name is Yao from National University of Singapore, Team Niubility. Together with my partner judging here, we are very honored to bring our product vision in this final stage, physical disability and speech difficulty assistance. Before I begin the presentation, I'd like to share a few comments from one of our supporters, Inclusion Ambassador from Disability People Association Singapore. In his opinion, nearly 60 to 70% suffer from the physical disability and speech difficulty among all the disability people. In his opinion, that's our idea and product really can make a difference and bring the benefit for the physical disabilities and speech difficulties. So in a previous research and survey, we realized this is a huge size of people in cerebral palsy, lateral sclerosis, stroke, in all of this. To above data is only part of people with physical disability and speech difficulties in Singapore. There are still many people who cause PTSD due to the other diseases or accidents in all over the world. So the issues we realize among this group of people, physical disability and speech difficulty are communication barrier, high cost, troublesome usage products in current market, and the great burden on the family. So our objective is to solve all of these issues to allow the people with PTSD to effectively communicate with anyone at anywhere, powered by Microsoft Azure. Let me share a few system architecture in our product. Our product is mostly focused on the mobile application, Android-based, and also developed by the Xamarin cross-platform. By connected by the Bluetooth into the master sensor kit as an alternative method, as well as the Azure API management. We use the cognitive service app Azure speech to text, text to speech, as well as the Azure object detection API. Based on the Azure Analysis services, we have retrained models and based on the further development of our own algorithm and eye tracking, as well as the Q&A maker APIs. Based on the Azure machine learning server, we also have our own algorithm word recommendations. Behind our development of our products, we also approach lots of experts as our cooperators, such as I have mentioned, Dr. Nabil and other experts which have shown here. Fortunately, we have in the past 6 months, we have made a beta testing of over 90 users try our products. By connecting with the 12 over therapists and disabilities professionals, they help us improve the functionality and algorithm stability. And also in the future, we hope that to promote further and development much more to our connected local NGOs and organizations which has shown here. In the future, we hope that our plan can settle down in Singapore, scale to China, Asia, even to all over the world. So that's all about my sharing. Hopefully you can support us, help them to move, to speak, and to make. That's all about the vision. Let's Jiajun to do a live demonstration video for you.
Hi, can you see the screen of my video? Due to a time limitation, I will only show you the biggest feature. Now Zhiyao will use his handphone to select the screen share.
Do you see the screen share about our video part?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, sure, no problem. And then I will only show you the biggest feature of our application, which is allowing the user to communicate with each other with the gaze point of his eyes at here. And please pay attention to my mouse. As you can see, the screen on the left-hand side is projected from the handphone directly at here. And then I will use my eyes to control the application. And the intersection point at here is the gaze point of my eyes. Let's start my demo video now. To send me a greeting message.
I will send a greeting to Jiajun. How are you?
Okay, as you can see, my application received the greeting message, and I can use my eyes to click the button and start chatting now. As you can see, the application will generate some possible response at here, and I can select one of it to play via the text to speech.
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking.
And if the user cannot find any suitable response at here, and he can use our T2 predictive input method to enter his own response. And here I'm going to enter I am not good.
So in the right part of this list is based on our T2 predictive input method. It will automatically generate the word based on our input characters in the T2 part, left and right buttons. And this all parts algorithms is stored back in the Microsoft Azure server. And such as now we are type 4 sentences I am not good.
Okay, after finish the whole sentence, I can click the send button at here to play with text to speech.
So that's all about our sharing. Thank you so much. Any question part?
Thank you so much. Okay, so we can now move on to the Q&A session with the judges. So judges, if you have any questions, please feel free to raise your hands. And Annie, I can see you have a question, so go ahead.
Yeah, thanks. That is brilliant. Great to see that. I was curious about, so how do you select with the eye? Like, how do you select that word or that phrase? So I can know that the gaze brings it there, but how do you double click on that?
What do you mean double click? Is it choose what to expand properly, right?
Yeah, so in the demo you showed,
Yeah.
I want to choose good. If I want to choose
Yeah, right.
good, my gaze comes there, but how do I select that? Yeah.
Yeah, we will have a gaze time at here. If I gaze the point at here, maybe more than 5 seconds, and then this point will be automatically clicked.
So it's
Yeah.
a duration of gaze.
Yes,
Okay.
here is a bar here. So
You see the bottom bar is have a time escape of the time period. Over 5 seconds, we will choose this right part button of our app.
Okay. Got that. Thank you.
Thank you. Next question, Leila.
Hi, thanks so much for presentation. I just watched the video on the portal. I see that actually I'm just because you have a muscle sensor that actually people can select. I just have a question about how is easy to set up in a client side. Is it something that everyone can kind of use it? For example, is it they have different setup in their home? So how is easy actually to set it up in the real world? Thank you.
You can see that this is our master sensor kit, and for this part, it's only 2 master sensors, such as one is a left button, one is a right button, and two pressed simultaneously is a select button. So this is the function about our master sensor kit as your question first part. The second part, how easily settle down in the home or any part. So physical disability and speech difficulty, normally they are move not very smoothly, like such as a physical disability. So this part will settle down in the wheelchair or something like a home that are convenient to touch, and as an alternative method as a mobile application, the mobile app embedded in the phone. So this is the usage about our master sensor part.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Thank you. Annie, you still have your hand raised. Did you have an additional question?
No, sorry, I'm putting it down.
Okay, no worries. Emily, maybe. Oh, Yoann, do you have a question? Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to see how you can combine it with existing accessibility tools, because most of PWDs are using already accessible features that you have on smartphones. So how do you combine your solution that is more the input and selection, apparently, with all of this, and what is the role of Azure in between?
So let me share the system architecture again. So the existing methods such as the Azure Cognitive Service, speech text-to-speech, and object detection API, this help us to translate the speech to text or text-to-speech order in the master sensor part to help to detect around surrounding environments to auto-generate the path. So as our own algorithm, like eye tracking part and word recommendation part, such as the Azure Active Directory and the Azure Analyzer services, is help us to retrain the model that based on some like frequently answers. Frequently sentence in the communication part. They help us to retrain it and give some like based on the general sentences, and give some specific sentences based on the specific communication environment. So this is the Azure put in our own algorithms. Yes.
So at the end, it's like more a new keyboard that you can use on WhatsApp, Line, or whatsoever, Telegram, whatsoever tool, or is it like an app that is standalone?
So this is kind of like so based on the mobile application, in that part is a T2 predictive input method, such as traditionally we are normal people using some like T9 input predictive method, right? But what we are doing is in the T2 predictive methods. So based on typing these two parts and automatically generate one words, and based on one word's word recommendation as in full sentences, such as here, and typing automatically generate words and have a full sentence, such as have really output here is I'm not good. Yeah, then give some feedbacks as a speech to text, text to speech. Yes.
Okay, sorry, but time's up for this Q&A, so thanks a lot.
Just a quick question. Do you have user feedback on your, do you have actual user feedback on this
Yes, of course. We have to do a lot of beta testing, like around 90 users beta testing connect with us, the Singapore HWA center, some disability special center. They give us some like feedback, help to improve the functionality also, and especially the therapists also to help us to connect with some users. Yes.
Yes, the link we proved to you actually have showed this supported already. Yeah.
So the link we have sent to the chat is a website part. They have some like detailed in our cooperators in mobile in the website part. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot. So that's it for all our 10 teams for the presentation. So thank you so much to all of you for the presentations. I'm sure our judges are going to have a really hard time now with the deliberation. So we will be doing the deliberation now. So for all the participants, all the finalist teams, you can have a break. We'll be back in about 20 minutes. We'll let you know. So yes, have a nice break and have a drink, and we'll be back soon. Okay, everyone, we're going to resume soon, so please get back to your seats, and we'll be resuming in a couple of minutes. So thank you everyone for your patience. So the judges have now finalized their votes, and it was really difficult for them to deliberate and to decide who would be the winners, because everyone's presentations were great. So no matter the outcome for today, please know that you've all done extremely well, and again, it was very, very difficult to make a decision. Before we announce the final results, I would like to give the floor to Shubangi, Chinyao, Emily and Taeyung for some closing remarks. So please go ahead, Shubangi, the floor is yours.
Can you all hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Perfect. I'd like to thank all the teams for sticking with us for the past 5 months and giving us great solutions. We saw amazing ideas, amazing proof of concepts on variety of topics across industries. So big thank you to all of you. And I won't be taking any more time, and I'd like to call upon CY, who's the head of Azure BG in Microsoft APAC, to share a few of the closing remarks with us.
Thank you so much, Shubhami. I hope you all can hear me. First of all, thank you for inviting me today. I did drop by and I listened to a couple of presentations. I think it was amazing. I think a lot of you have put in a lot of effort. I want to thank the participants for participating the last 5 months. I think it was a great journey for both learning and picking up Azure and learning about some of those challenges that you see from business bringing into IT. I think Hackathon is really about bringing your ideas to life. Your creativity has clearly shown it today. I think you should all be very proud of yourself. This is a case whether to improve on technology, whether is it for products or whether is it for bringing processes into, in tech into processes into our day-to-day life, or business challenges. I think all of those signify some of those challenges I heard today, and some of when I heard the judges deliberating as well. So I think all of you have done well. Again, thank you for participating today. We hope to see all you all again very soon. Thank you so much.
Thanks, CY. I'd also like to call upon Emily, who's the director for Microsoft for Startups, to share a few of her words with us.
Hi, everyone. So thank you so much. Firstly, it's I think what struck me the most, and what I've been sort of thinking about and resonating is the limited time you've been working on these solutions and the progress that's been made. It just shows how quickly you can just, you know, using technology and the technology that we have today, just how quickly you can actually develop some of these solutions into products that are very polished for the amount of time that you've actually been working on them and researching them. I think that to me has been absolutely amazing. I mean, generally my day-to-day is working with startups who are, you know, maybe 5, 7, 8 years old, in some cases. And so seeing the amount of progress that was made, it was absolutely incredible. So thank you everyone for sharing, and you know, you're all winners and you just got to keep on going. So thanks a lot for having me.
Thanks, Emily, for joining us. I'd also like to call upon Taeyong. He's the CEO of AI Factories. Please share a few words with us.
Yeah, yes. I am Regional Director of South Korea and CEO of AI Factory. I reviewed the several projects in general, the many ideas and efforts to implement them quickly and easily using Azure solutions have inspired me a lot. The idea and efforts you have provided in this competition will serve as a model for the practical use cases in many areas in the future. Thank you again for your efforts.
Thank you.
Over to you, Sarah.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your closing remarks. So without any further ado, it is now time to go to the actual results announcement that I know all of you have been waiting for. And we will get started with the third prize. So the 4 teams who win the third prize of $1,000 are Binoc AI, Mamatech, Useless Things, and CreditMate. Congratulations to all 4 teams. I'd like to ask you if you have a couple of words that you'd like to say. So in turn, maybe someone from Binoc AI, would you like to share a couple of words with us?
I especially like Binoc AI because of its new technology, blockchain and AI are combined. So blockchain and AI, if combined, there are many wonderful things possible. Hope keeps researching for next generation financing. Thank you.
Thank you, Minhun. Anyone from the team Binoc AI, would you like to say a couple of words about this third prize?
Yeah, Grace here. So thank you for the judges. Thank you for the prize. I just want to say a couple of things. So really thank you for the subject matter experts that were helping us to develop the solutions together. So they bring us great insights to what the banking finance industry is actually doing and help us to make an understanding of what the data is. So really thank you for the 2 subject matter experts that help us here.
Thank you so much. And next, Mamatech. So Annie first, do you have any comments regarding the team as judge?
Yes, I think this is a very core area. Healthcare is a core area where there's a lot of help needed from technology. And it was great to see how they focused sharply on the whole malnutrition piece, which has far-reaching impact on society. And they did extensively good research on the competition, the market, and what could be the potential pricing as much as they worked on the technical side of it. So great work from Mamatech. I'm super proud of seeing what they have done. Yeah.
Thanks. And Mamatech, do you have any words to share about getting the third prize here?
Hello, we are actually really grateful because as a practitioner in the field, I really need this solution because every time the mothers come to me and they ask really insecurely can I know, how can I know my child is malnutrition or not? So it's really like the thing that I really need, and I'm really thankful for the Microsoft Agorize to really like create this competition so I can get the tech team and make the solution too. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Useless things, Annie, do you have some comments about them?
Yeah, it was a very interesting idea, and I think in a world which is very focused on being productive, doing things that will get money, monetary value, etc., etc., useless thing was like the idea was a breath of fresh air. And I think their focus on the mass of people out there who just want to be creative, and tapping that energy was very nicely captured by the solution. So kudos to the team from Thailand to actually take that idea and flesh it out further.
Cheers. And does the team have anything to say in addition?
I have to thank we have to thank our consultant here and our mentor Supankit and Microsoft and our Agorize that organized this event. And to all the youth in the world, the future is in your hands. So see you at Useless Things.
Thank you so much. Emily, any comments on CreditMate as a judge?
Yeah, so I particularly, I think when we deliberated and one of the things that kept coming up is for CreditMate was the experience and the traction that we've seen in the team. It's pretty amazing. You're so early on in the journey. I just can't wait to see what you do with it. I'm particularly fond of this solution because I have a background in AI, and I really like, we see it a lot, the document processing and things like that, but I particularly like the credit risk modeling. Super interesting. And congrats. I
wish you time.
Sorry, could I ask people who aren't speaking to mute themselves, please? We have a bit of background noise. Thank you so much. And Team CreditMate, do you have anything to add on getting this third prize?
Thank you, Sarah and Emily. We are really excited to have won this award. Yeah, and we're also very excited for building this product on top of Microsoft Azure services. So we're looking forward to it.
Great. Thank you so much. Thank you, and congratulations again to all the teams who got the third prize. And now it's time to move on to the second prize. So the winner across all categories that will go home with 5,000 USD is AVEHEALTH. So congratulations, team AVEHEALTH. Leila, do you have some comments as a judge to explain what you thought was so great about the solution?
I love the solution because it's actually in New Zealand we have lots of different bears, and they are kind of getting injured, and some of them they made this thing. So it's kind of the best solution for environment and how to save bears, and not just the bears but other animals. So it's kind of the nature of that, and how they use the combination of the machine learning and use of the different Azure was really really interesting to me. Congratulations again.
Thanks a lot, Leila. And to the team, do you have any comments on getting the second prize?
Hi. Thank you so much to the judges from the competition. We are really, really humbled to be receiving the second prize. So this was really a team effort, and we really started this project from scratch. So we really thank Microsoft Azure for holding this competition that birthed our idea for this competition, and we're really excited to bring this project forward. Just want to thank Singapore Jurong Bird Park, as well as Acres Wildlife Rescue Center, for providing us with the data set and insight to solving this problem statement. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks so much, and congratulations again for winning the second prize. Okay, so now it is time for the announcement of our grand winner. So I hope you're ready. And our grand winner that is going back home with $8,000 is Niubility.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Appreciate a lot of. Thank you. Really nice. Thanks.
Go ahead if you have some comments.
Yeah. So, thanks a lot of this patient for all the judges give us our support to this product vision. So in the future, we definitely will using this chance and to promote and to tell our connections to all the supporters and collaborators. So appreciate a lot to our judges and Microsoft Azure to give this technique and help us to improve the functionality of our product. So that's all my sharing. Yeah, I'm so excited. Thanks a lot. Yeah.
Great, congrats. We're happy to see you so happy. Yoann, do you have any comments as well to add on to that as judge?
Yeah, sure. Congratulations first, and that's really impressive to see as partners that you're securing day after day, and that you have already users giving you feedback. I think it's one of the most advanced project that we have seen. It's really getting on the right direction. So keep going. It's a very interesting and useful project. I've been in touch with different communities in the PWDs, so people with disabilities communities in Singapore, and I know many of them will be happy to collaborate with you. So congratulations.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for your comments.
Congratulations again to all our winners today. You really did super well, and to all the other teams as well. Like, you've also really outshined yourself, so you can be proud of yourselves, whatever the outcome today. And now I'd like to hand over the floor to Yoann Fol, who's going to talk a little bit about DataHappy and the support that they will provide to all our winning teams today. So Yoann, again, the floor is yours.
Yeah, thanks. Very quickly, we've seen many good projects today, and it was also a kind of duty for us to make sure that you continue, and to make sure that you can continue further. What we want to really offer to you is a workshop plus follow-ups on individual ones, of course, with each team that is on the 6 winners. And even if we are on the others, you can send us an email if you want, but mainly for the 6 winners, having a workshop together to make sure that you find a sustainable business model combining people, planet, profit together, powered by technology when you need, where you need it, and making sure that you can help you to thrive in the future, continuing and opening our networks as well. So really happy to help you overall, combining technology and different tools like this to make sure that you can continue to impact our world.
Cheers. Thanks a lot, Yoann, for those words. So now, just before we finish, it's going to be time for a picture time. So just to explain, everyone, can you please turn your camera on right now so that we can take a nice commemorative picture to remember this event by. So I'm going to stop my screen share. And everyone, please get ready so that we can take a picture of everyone. So David, just let us know when you're good. Okay, perfect. Thanks a lot, David. So that is going to be it for this event today. So really thank you to all of you for joining today. I hope you had a really good time. Thanks to all our participants today, all the finalist teams for your amazing pitching. Thank you to the audience. Thanks obviously to all our judges for being here today. So thank you, everyone, and I hope you stay safe, and I hope we see you again soon. So goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, everyone.